off.
Buddy Franklin would never be subjected to a flaming Lamington, I can tell you that much. So, we're going to start with the Suns. So, Suns are a team of mystery. Where are they at? Where should they be at? What should they be doing?
Who knows?
Ins for the Suns. Cooper Bell, pick 49. Asher Eastham, rookie draft. Zach Evans, Category B rookie, the ex-Renegades cricketer.
Oh, right.
Lachlan Goulburn, Category B rookie again. Elliot Himmelberg, free agent Adelaide. Max Noble, rookie draft. Leo Lombard, pick 9 from the Academy. Jai Noble, trade from Collingwood. Daniel Rioli, trade from Richmond.
Yep.
Out. Rory Atkins traded to Port Adelaide. That's outrageous, by the way. Sandy Brock delisted. Levi Casbolt retired. Sam Day delisted, but he's obviously been picked up by Brisbane. Brandon Ellis retired. Oscar Forkhead delisted. Jack Lukosius trade Port Adelaide. Darcy McPherson delisted. Jack Marnie delisted. Huago
We didn't get to play Ole.
Delisted. Will Rowlands delisted. James Cheetahs delisted. So, when I read you these numbers, what does this tell you? Average age, 24.5. Ninth oldest. They were the 8th oldest last year. And average games, 71.3. Ninth most. They were 10th last year. 1,600 plus players, 2,350 plus players. What does that tell you?
Jeez, you'd think they'll be like pushing. They're around finals.
So
bound.
What that tells you is
should be.
They are on the precipice of having to do something. Now, our friend of the podcast, Richie Newen, gave me his son's preview. So
Before you start with Richie, Gold Coast play Brisbane, GWS, Essendon, Melbourne, Adelaide, and Richmond twice.
Come see, come sa.
Yeah.
Really good, really bad.
Yeah.
So he knows the Suns like no one else, and I had my side.
Who else better to do?
Cozzy and Quinny, the three Sun supporters I know. So I had my 23. He had 21 of my 23, so that's pretty close. But he's expecting top 8 this year. He goes, everyone's in their prime now. What he needs is a couple of forward pockets to lock the ball in the forward line to increase their scoreboard damage. That's where they've been lacking. The ball's coming out too easy. He goes, the midfield bat's extremely deep now, and the defence is looking very, very solid. They have a lot of overlapping runners now, bringing in the players like Rioli and Noble with a few others. He thinks they can create from behind the football and be really attacking and score. So his best 23 is Uland, Collins, Andrew, Powell, Ballard, Rioli, Clossy, Miller, Ainsworth, Flanders, Walter, Humphrey, Ben Long, Ben King, Rosas, Witts, Rao, Anderson, Noble, Weller, Graham, Reid, and Lombard. So what he's sort of saying is he goes, and this was my issue with, we're saying, who did we say last week with the new coach? I can't remember. But basically, we're definitely going to talk about West Coast when we get to them eventually. But it's going to take time for them to learn the game plan. This is the second year of Dimma.
Yeah.
So they've had a year to learn the game plan, learn his coaching style, learn how he wants them to play. Not only have they topped up with some good players like Rioli and Noble, their kids have got some more experience. I had Rogers in my side, but they had all those academy picks they got the year before. You just said Walter, Reid, Rogers. They've topped up with, Lombard's fantastic.
Rioli's been injured, has he not?
He has, but he's going to be right at the start of the year. So he made a good point. He goes, Tuke Miller has stepped down as captain and Noah Anderson has taken over. He doesn't think...
Weight off his shoulders.
Yeah, that's what he... And he thinks Noah Anderson is the person to lead this club forward, and he's actually quite excited about where they're at. He thinks finals will be playing. I think they're going to be on the precipice. They've got to win some games away from home. That's the kicker for me. They couldn't lose at home. They could not win a game to save themselves away from home, and that is the killer. If they can pick that up and keep that form at home, there's no reason why they don't play finals.
Do you think Sam Flanders... Take fantasy hat off for a second, because I know fantasy players will say no to this, but taking the fantasy hat off, do you think Sam Flanders is underrated?
No.
No? You think...
No. So
would you have him in the top 50?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you had like Tuke flying, but Anderson, Rao, Flanders, Tuke,
yep,
that's solid.
Oh yeah,
really, really solid. outside runners in Ainsworth and Clossy. They've got a fair bit to work with. And if Ben King can stay fit and they can get some of these small forwards to keep the ball in, like Richie said, I think they can be competitive. Yep. They're another one I want to see it, much like Essendon. I've got them 10th, but there's no reason why they can't go high. If they can win some games from home, that 10th automatically puts them in the 8.
Elliot Himmelberg isn't the worst in. A lot of teams actually really wanted him, and he could go down back or forward and help Ben King out down forward if he needs to, especially with Jack Lukosius out.
Well, Jed Walter will step up.
Oh yeah, of course, Big Jed. Yeah. Forgot about Big Jed.
I think he'll step up.
Yes.
So he was your boy from last year. You were all over him.
How could I forget about Jed?
So if Ben King can stay fit, he looks good. And obviously in the back line, they've got Mac Andrew. So Mac Andrew played a bit of forward last year as well, but he's more of a backman. And when you got Sam Collins and Ballard,
when he signed like a 25-year deal or something, Mac Andrew.
So if you've got Ballard, Collins, and Andrew, they can take the bigs. Then you've got Rioli and Noble distributing. Ulan's a good young player.
Yeah.
Lockie Weller, Will Power can play back there as well. They're at the stage where you've got that list where it's 9th and 10th in games and age. They are another year of Hardwick. This is the year you want to see a big improve. If it doesn't come this year, the pressure is on next year. They need to start to see results. They've been in the league long enough. For poor suffering supporters like Richie, hopefully they can improve for him.
I'm going to have to start giving generalised ladder predictions because I actually had a ladder and I accidentally deleted it.
Of course you did.
So they
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
They should be contending. I think I had them about 7.
That's huge.
Like
if they win some away games, there's no reason why they can't do that. But as I said with Essendon, I want to see it.
Yeah, I think
I don't want to see this.
So if I say so to listeners, if I say a number that I had another team at that number, don't come at me. I accidentally deleted my ladder. Anyway, then take a deep breath. Now, next team we are going to is the GWS Giants.
The big sound is where we're going. So, my guy in Cody Angove, pick 24.
So you're going to say the stringer.
No, definitely not my guy. Definitely not my guy. But speaking of Ducky's boy, we have to find another one. It's not going to be Dylan Shield. It's definitely not going to be Dylan Shield, but
no comment.
We'll find another guy for Ducky. Josiah Delana, Category B rookie. Oliver Hannaford, pick 18. Harry Oliver, pick 19. Jack Oof.
Oof.
O-U-G-H. Oof. Oof. 36. It's probably not Oof. It's probably Oof or something. Logan Smith, 71 from the Academy. Jake Stringer, Essendon.
Package.
Out goes Isaac Cumming, Adelaide. Poor Cooper Hamilton. No more social media from Cooper Hamilton. Delisted. Nick Haynes, free agent, Carlton. Adam Kennedy, retired. James Peatling, Adelaide. Big loss there. Perryman, also a big loss.
Lost some talent.
Proust, delisted. But they have topped up with some kids. So, when you look at where they're at right now with these stats, it's actually crazy how well they went last year. They should have beaten Sydney. They should have beaten Brisbane. Average age 24, 13th oldest. They're the same from last year. Average games played 67.7, 14th most experience, and they've beaten both the grand finalists.
Right. Speaking of grand finalists, they play Sydney, Geelong, Bulldogs, Saints, Gold Coast, West Coast twice.
Yep. 12 games, 12... you interrupted my stats, so I wasn't even... You got to let me finish my stats before you interrupt me, Scott. Players with 100-plus games, 12... I wasn't listening, so I was still focusing on my stats.
Yeah.
Players with 100-plus games, 12. Players with less than 50... 24. That is a lot.
Yeah.
So I heard a bit of that. I'm sure that's great. They'll do fantastic. They'll beat all those sides they played twice. Awesome.
3. I got Sydney, Geelong, Dogs hard. Saints.
I don't think the Dogs are hard.
Saints, Gold Coast, West Coast. The Gold Coast will be interesting.
Yeah, continue. So, side I've got is Connor Iden, Sam Taylor, Jace Buckley, Lockie Whitford, Harry Himmelberg, Lockie A. Solid. They don't need injuries. There was bulk injuries back there last year. Harry Taylor's nut is still not recovered. Callum Ward, Steve Caniglio, Finn Callan. A lot of injuries there too. Toby Green, Jesse Hogan, Brett Daniels, Darcy Jones, the kid with the lid, Aaron Cadman, and Jake Stringer. Kieran Briggs, Tom Green, Josh Kelly. Toby Bedford, Connor Stone, Xavier Halloran, James Leake. I've got Harvey Roughton in there because they have, a lot of suspensions because of some things that happened in the off-season. So Riccardi should be in there. Harvey Thomas should be in there. Muck Mullen, he's a fair chance he should be in there too. But the way they played last year, yes, they've lost some talent, right? Peatling, Cumming, Perryman, they've got some kids. They not only recruited for the now, they're recruiting for down the track, because you look at some of the players we mentioned in that midfield. Callum Ward's on his last legs. Caniglio's getting a stack of injuries, so they need to replace these players. So when you see Cody Angove some outside run, Hannaford can, can provide some inside grunt. They're trying to top up to keep this midfield strong, but it still bats deep. Like Tom Green, Josh Kelly, Caniglio, Callaghan looks good. Toby Green might have the potential to play some more midfield. He barely played any last year. So
rumours are the package might run through the guts for a spell. If him and Toby can...
I'd much rather Toby
100%.
in the midfield than Jake, but they do have a lot of leg speed, and we know they draft types. So, look, I think they'll be competitive. I've got them contending. I think it's going to be a bit of a slow burn, but I've got them 6th. I've got them right up there. And I don't think they digress much, but a lot will fall on the shoulders of Jesse Hogan, because Cadman, the number 1 pick, is still a little bit away, it seems, and they will need some Western Bulldogs package to get them up and about. But they're solid across the ground. Briggs is a really underrated ruckman. He plays some really good football. He's a real competitor. But their drive comes from their back line, and that's really solid. So if they can keep the scores low, it keeps them in games.
And if they can stop teams and stop allowing teams to come back at the end of games, would predict them at the end of the last season.
Well, as we said in the finals, they had both those teams.
They had them done.
Yeah.
I had them top 4. Where in the top 4? I didn't have them on top. I didn't have them second, because I know who I had on top and I know who I had second.
I had them just out because of if they still had Peatling, Perryman and Cumming, I probably would have had them top 4. Just a little bit back. But we know the Orange Tsunami can come out, and we're not talking Bronson Reed running out of the back line with the ball. That would be a sight for sight. Imagine Bronson Reed with the ball under the arm, just having a bounce running through the midfield. Wow, he is a Mad Port supporter, but shout out to the Tsunami.
And then we're going to your boys. We are going to the Horde.
We are. So a lot of list change here when I get through the stats. So Ian's Cody Anderson, pick 64 from our academy. Josh Battle from St Kilda, Tom Barras from West Coast, Matt Hill, not the Flemington race caller, but a Category B rookie, Noah Morantz, pick 35, Jamie Henry, not Hey Henry, Category B rookie, out. Josh Bennett's delisted, DGB delisted, Cooper Stevens delisted, I believe he's at East Perth now, Jack O'Sullivan delisted, Ethan Phillips delisted, Clay Tucker delisted, Chad Wingard retired. So, last year the Hawks, 17th average age. They're now 10th, 24.4. 16th least experience. They are now the 8th most experienced, 71.7. 13 players with 100 plus games, 22 with 50 less. When you see Battle, you see Barras, you see we are playing for now.
Yep.
Teams we played twice. This is where you rock.
Oh, okay. Brisbane, Port, Carlton, Collingwood, Melbourne, Adelaide.
That is grim, and that is one of the reasons why you will hear what I'm about to say, which might shock you. Yep. So, I am lukewarm on this side compared to last year, but I'll read it anyway. I've got what I want, but I'm not going to get what I want, because I want Sicily in the back line. Mitch Lewis and Cal Shadir are out long term, so Sicily is going to have to play forward.
How much? What's Mitch Lewis done again?
It's still his ACL.
Yeah, right.
He did it middle of last year.
So he should be back by about round 8, 9-ish?
Yeah, mate, you know what he's like.
Yeah, and then probably get
Cal Shadir getting hurt is killing me. Yeah, so it ruins our whole structure. But
what did he do?
He's back. He's got a back issue.
Okay.
So Hardwick, Barras, Sicily, Amon, Battle, Scrimshaw, D'Ambrosio, Will Day, Weddle, Ginnivan, Chol, Moore, McDonald, Gunston, Watson, Meek, Peel, Thunder, Lloyd, Meek, James Walpole, John Newcomb, CJ, Connor Nash, Impey, Cam McKenzie, and I've got Luke Bruce because he's always the sub, so he's there.
Yep.
Realistically, I think Sicily has to play forward. You can put Jarman Impey in the back line and play with Battle, Barras and Scrimshaw with the three smaller players. They're saying Hardwick's going to play more forward. They're saying Sicily's going to play forward. Max Ramsden is a name to watch. I gave out Cal Shadir as the name to watch last year and he came on. Max Ramsden is probably the only other key forward we have that could possibly play AFL at the moment. And if you saw Marbia Charles' final series, you will realise that we need help down there. We've really topped up our key backs, but we're now bleeding at key forwards. So, look, we overachieve last year? 100%. We had an easy draw, but our game plan and our intensity won us games. If we didn't lose that Port Adelaide game, we would have been in the top four, which probably would have put us into a grand final, but we didn't. And look, we lost. We lost to Port on the way back.
Yeah.
It's going to be really, really hard to back up the season we had last year. When you see those teams we played twice, Canning, Collingwood, I think we can beat Melbourne, but the rest are really, really, really tough. We started very slow last year. We cannot afford to do that again. It's going to be very interesting to see in round 0 how we match up against Sydney. If we don't win that game, I'm a little bit worried because we've had a much longer break and we know we have a point to prove after last year.
Sure.
I have got us clinging to 8th spot.
Yep.
If we don't make it, I won't be surprised. If we don't make it and we win less games, that doesn't mean we have digressed. It just means we have probably, instead of going up like a rocket ship, we're going up like Scott Brown walking up a hill. Very, very slow gradient. And as long as we improve, that's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I don't think this year's going to be our year.
Yeah.
I think next year or the year after, our players are going to be really ready to go. So, look, we know what happens. Teams that improve rapidly and win games, what do people normally do? They copy what they do. So, I think you're going to see a lot of teams playing hock ball, a lot of fast chaos balls
Isn't
into
hock
the
ball
forward line.
just the Collingwood game plan from 2 years ago that Hawthorn just stole and then just did it themselves?
Not really, because Collingwood have these big forwards. That big Mason up there. We have no one. We have no big forwards.
I was hoping for much more of a reaction there. I was hoping for you to be way more into Hawthorn than
No, I'm not. Because, look...
You're being way too realistic.
Well, that's literally the word I was going to use, is I'm realistic. And I know we played well last year. And if we play at that intensity, there's no reason why we can't do the same.
So you're basically calling it a year of, I guess you could call it, I hope I'm using the right word here, mitigation, where you're going to just level it.
Mitigation's not the word. Consolidation is the word you're looking for.
What is mitigation?
Mitigation means something's out of your control.
Okay, yeah. So consolidation, where you can try to win the same amount of games, but if you don't, losing one or two more isn't a massive
If we
damage.
improve by 10%, that puts us top 4, right?
Yeah.
Is that out of the realms of possibility? No. But if we stay at the same level as we did last year, we know there are teams that are going to improve. We've said we finished 6th.
Oh, that's where I've got you.
But we know, in my opinion, Carlton will improve, Freo will improve.
Yeah.
So if they both jump us, that puts us 8th.
Yeah, right.
And that's sort of where I've got us. Because I think Carlton will be better than us, and I think Fremantle will be better than us.
I think I had Carlton around 8th.
I have Carlton.
I've got you in the 8th. I think you guys are good enough to make the 8th.
We definitely are, but we have to play our best football.
Like anything we always say, like injuries, like you're saying Cal Shadir's out, Mitch Lewis is out. Cal Shadir
kills our structure.
Yeah, exactly right. Then Sicily has to go forward, and then you're relying on.
And you know what I like? I like Sicily in the back line because of his ball movement.
Well, Josh Battle played juniors as a full forward.
But Tom Barras does not have the foot skills of what James Sicily does.
Have you still got? Is Frosty still there?
Yes, he is.
So you're not going to put them all on at once. You still got Frost, Battle, Barras.
Yep, Scrimshaw, Sicily, and we've got James Blank as well coming off an ACL as well. Yeah. Wow. So remember last year we were just cast with key backs. Now we've gone and fixed that. As I said, we didn't need Barras in my opinion.
No.
And we can't play the 2 rucks because that didn't work. Lloyd Meekpeel, Thunder let him run. So Look, Gunston's on his last legs. Chol had some flashes last year, but when it counted, he was missing. Deer, no Deer. So we're relying on more Ginnivan, McDonald, and our man, the Wizard. Look, have you seen there's Wizard hats now with number 34? They're everywhere. Marketing.
We called him earlier than anybody else out there. But we got to move on. Melbourne. Let's go to Melbourne.
So the ever reliable man that has played the most emergencies ever of a game, Tom Campbell, free agent.
Who would have been spewing when he heard that Roe Marshall was injured. Like, damn it, that was my opportunity.
Tom Campbell, free agent, gone to Melbourne. Aidan Johnson, pick 68. Harvey Langford, pick 6.
Good
I'm
pick.
big on this guy. Xavier Lindsay, pick 10.
Great pick.
Ricky Menthar Jr., Category B rookie. And Harry Sharp, trade from Brisbane. I like that trade. He's a good player. Out. Angus Brayshaw retired. Ben Brown retired. Kaya Farris White delisted. Lockie Hunter retired. Alex Neil Bullen trade to Adelaide. Josh Shackey delisted. Howie was still on the list is amazing. Joel Smith delisted. Well, maybe he's been spending some time with Xavier Cooks. And Adam Tomlinson delisted. There's a word on the street. He's maybe in chance to get a spot on West Coast list.
Yes, that's what I'm hearing.
Average age 25, fourth oldest. They were the third oldest last year. Average games played 77.2, the sixth most experienced. They were third last year. 14 players over 100 games, 22 under 50.
This is interesting.
Who did they play twice?
Hawks, Pies, Saints, Gold Coast, West Coast, North Melbourne.
That's really good.
A few free hits there.
I'd say 4 free hits there.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Interesting.
They copped, I've got a guy on my side, but they've copped some injuries.
So if you're saying 4 free hits, you're saying that's 8. Should automatically 8 wins.
Yep. Well, West Coast, Richmond, North Melbourne is pretty tasty.
Yeah, 100%.
Pretty tasty.
Yeah.
And the Saints, did you say?
Yep.
4 free hits.
Yeah, okay.
Tom McDonald, Stephen May, Christian Salem, Trent Rivers, Jake Lever, Judd McVie. I believe Judd McVie suffered a serious injury today. Ed Langdon, Clayton Oliver, Caleb Windsor, Cozzy Pickett. There's a fair bit going on there. Gee whiz. Harrison Petty. Apparently he's going to the back line. I've got him in the forward line for now. Okay. Jake Melson, Kay Chandler, Jacob Van Rooyen, Bailey Frisch, Ace Ventura. Max Gorn, Christian Petrarca, Jack Viney. We're saying Petrarca's going to be back even though he's hurt the rib.
Yep.
Langford, Sparrow, Bowie, Lindsay, Disco, Turner. Tholstrup I had in, but he's out injured long term.
What's he done?
I think he's done a hip, but don't quote me on that.
All right.
That side is pretty solid. I
paper.
don't think they have the depth that they used to, and they are relying on their top-end talent to keep them in games. We saw what happened last year. They had flashes of brilliance, but then they got obliterated by Fremantle by like 99 points or something like that.
Yep.
Their best is good enough. Is their best consistently good enough? I don't think so. This was the hardest team for me where to put.
Yep.
I had them 7th. They could easily finish 13th.
Yeah.
If they cop some more injuries like Petrarca, Viney, Oliver, is Oliver going to be back? He looks like he's on his way back. They need him to be. They need him to be. But that for how long will that last? Obviously, May Lever, like they've got injuries everywhere. Like Salem gets hurt. Cozzy Pickett suspended every second week. You know, that forward line, Disco, Turner, Petty, Van Rooyen, are they going to kick scores? That's their problem. If they can somehow unearth some young talent like Langford and Lindsay to really get that engine room humming, that's why I'm giving them the hope to finish in that top 8.
Yeah. I'm with you. I don't think they're going to.
They're really hard to judge. As I said, this was the team I found the hardest to pick. As I said, I could have had you. I could have had them anywhere from like 6th to 14th, but I went 7th.
I don't have him in the 8.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've probably about 9th. Xavier Lindsay, you watch that man, as I said, when we were talking about our draft picks that we liked.
Yeah.
The man, the way he uses the footy, look out, Melbourne fans, because you're going to be like, wow, who's this kid? Harvey Langford will go in and get the ball.
Yes,
Christian
he will.
Petrarca no longer has to do that. Clayton Oliver no longer has to do that.
He has to. It's the only way he can play.
That's true. Harvey Langford will go get that footy.
Yep.
He's a beast.
And they have Xavier, Lindsay and Caleb Windsor
Yep.
and Ed Langdon who can provide a lot of run. They've been trialling Ed Langdon inside mid at the moment because they need him. Because if they've got Windsor and Lindsay on the outside, they can play mid. And like he's a bigger body. He's got some. He's got a tank. And if they go with like Petrarca out, play more forward to try and help kick a score, they can run with Oliver, Viney, Langford. You know, Cozzy Pickett goes in there, has a crack. Trent Rivers has gone in there, has had a crack.
Maybe they could play some Xavier Lindsay running off the half back line, delivering the footy up forward.
Well,
his kicking is elite.
Yeah, I think I've got Trent Rivers.
Almost better than Caleb.
I've got Trent Rivers back there delivering the ball because I think he's very good, but he can come into the mid-mix as well. If he's back there, he can manoeuvre it. Their best is good enough, but I want Petrarca playing a bit of forward because Van Rooyen's not there yet.
Yep.
But Harrison Petty was woeful. So that's why I think he might go back and might free up someone else. But look, they're the hardest team, in my opinion, to judge.
Who knows with Melbourne? Speaking of hard things to judge, just quickly.
Expelliarmus! You're a wizard.
Picks it up, goes in towards full forward and far. Oh, Wizard, be careful!
You're about to take off and win your boys.
Oh, you just never know with the Wiz. At the back was the Wizard. He could have been held. Play on, Robertson does. He gives it to the Wizard. 46 out. He can smell a goal. He can smell a magic goal.
So for those newly listening, that's our Wizards intro. That's our AFL fantasy segment. We still want people to join our fantasy league. If you want to join, let us know. Contact us.
We're about half full. We got 10 out of 20. So people who played last year, we've sent you the email, rejoin. I'm looking at you, Beast. I'm looking at you, Milko. Big Dog, where's the Big Dog? He talked a big game. We knocked him out. Tail between the legs. No more Big Dog.
I'll get in contact with him. But
is Hutch in there? I think Hutch is in already.
Hutch is in there. So
Forey, Duckworth, where are you?
Follow us on our socials, and we'll chuck up our link to our AFL fantasy. This is also a time we do throw out some AFL fantasy tips from people who we call the Wizards, hence that's their intro. I have not discussed with a certain Wizard whether he's back this year, but...
Well, the Greek Wizard, I think, is back.
But are we hunting another Wizard?
No, I think we still allow the Wizard because he was better than the other Wizard. The non-Greek Wizard was better than the Greek Wizard.
Is that the Wizard that holds a suitcase?
Yes.
Yes.
I think I know what you're trying to say.
The man that we've had on here?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we'll allow him.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, if you want to join in, if you think you're good enough to join in, then we can get 3 Wizards tips from 3 different people. Who knows?
You can't be as bad as the original Wizard.
Exactly. But if you want to join in because your tips, well, they can't be worse than this.